Disclaimer. This is the first time I'm doing this sort of format. The video might be a little bit long, and it might also have a little bit of rambling in it. With that said, if you have any opinions on what I've covered, or if you have anything else you'd like to add, feel free to do so in the comments. Thank you. Hello, D-Red Baron here. This is something I want to call opinions that you never asked for, where I just take a topic I thought of randomly and just go on about it. So first I want to say I love art. I love seeing art. I love seeing people make art. I wish I could make it better. I mean, I can make art. I can do it decently. I'm just not polished. I'm not perfected. But one thing I do like is commissioning artists. It's actually a very wonderful feeling because it takes your idea and an artist puts it into their style and brings it to life. It's a service-based, I don't know what to call it, business model, something, but it is a service, which means that it is like a business, but it's not like any other kind of business, because for one, it's not a consistent paying job, and also you don't have companies or policy and stuff to actually back you up. You just have your own word and your own, fortitude. I really just bring this up because something I see every day, especially on, say, Tumblr, Twitter, and such, because I do follow a lot of artists and I do have a lot of art friends, sort of, in a way. The attitude towards artists, especially those who are taking on commissions. Some of the things that I end up seeing is, well, basically overall disrespect and lack of, for lack of a better word, professionalism. Now, yeah, your client doesn't mean you have to be professional, right? You have nothing holding you to it but your own morality. That's all I can say. Honestly, you really should be civil. I do think that just as much as an artist or any business has responsibilities to their customers or clients, that also have responsibilities to those they're doing work with. So first, I want to kind of outline some of the things I would think would be some good ideas for customer or client responsibilities to their artists. Now, this is not a you should do this or you're just not doing it right. I don't want to tell you you're not doing it right, but this is more like a guideline or something. I don't know, but I brought this down into 7 pieces. Alright, number 1. Have an idea of what you want. So, before you even think about commissioning another artist or anybody at all, have an idea of what you actually want them to make. Because it's never really a good idea to just go to somebody but not even have a clue of what you want. I don't know if this happens that often, but have a basic idea of what you're looking at. This goes into the next one. Number 2, research the artist. Main thing, most artists will have a type of page or information somewhere. Some of the really good ones are ones who are more experienced in commission work, because commission work is only one piece of what artists can do for income. Is they'll usually have a type of commission page on a blog, DeviantArt, Tumblr, their own website with information. Research them. Research what they can do. Roughly what prices they would have. Some actually only do females, some don't do humans, some do only humans. Some can do people, pairs of people. I say additional people, only one person. There's a lot of things. Just make sure you research them before you even make contact. This way you actually have an idea of what you're getting yourself into. Number 3, ask questions. So my first thing is always come up with some questions to ask an artist. Okay, the way I do it is always I ask questions first, no matter what. Even if the commission page has always just been the most informative thing ever, there's some things they might miss. I say challenge yourself to come up with a question. Yeah, so basically with these first 3, it's just about coming up to them and make sure you're not really, I don't want to say wasting their time, but you're coming prepared so that they are able to help you the best if you decide to choose them. Number 4, detailed descriptions. Alright, so this one's probably a bigger what you want to do is whenever you commission an artist, some artists do work really well with references, but a lot work strictly off of just definition, off of a description. Not solely off of a description, but mostly off of a description. But even if they are those who work solely off of a description, I want to say two things. Make sure it's clear, concise, that they can understand that there's really no conflicting information. Don't have things where like they're both jumping and sitting at the exact same time, unless they're like sitting in the air. But again, say something like sitting in the air. A couple of sentences, I don't really think that's really a good thing. I want this or want that. I want a cat girl. Okay. Do you want to be a tiger? Hair color, that kind of stuff. Very detailed information. Also, if you want to liken it to something else, if you have references for the picture, all that stuff, provide pictures the best you can. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like required, but it does make the artist's life a little bit better. Like, if you say you want their fur to be like a chinchilla, or you want something, chinchilla, give them a picture of a chinchilla. Yeah, they can Google search it, but you know what? And even if it's not a waste of their time, like, yeah, they can Google search it, but sometimes it's helpful. It's all about just being helpful to the artist. You know, make sure they can understand it. Make sure they have everything they need. And what I always say is any questions, just just, you know, don't be afraid to ask, because I am not really the greatest with words, but I do my best. Number 5. Alright, this is a really, really big one. Be understanding. Be courteous. Be kindly. Be professional. Understand that they are people too. They cannot work like, they are not physically capable of, say, working on an art piece for like 8 hours a day. They don't work on the same schedule. They have their own things, and your work is probably not the only thing. I've actually dealt with some artists who he delayed doing commissions because he also worked on these art packs he would sell. Yeah, commissions went by the wayside. People do this sometimes. Life comes up and things happen. Sometimes people do make mistakes. Just be understanding, you know? Don't be a dick. That's pretty much the entire thing. I know I really should. Side note, don't ridicule anyone for anything. Don't be difficult. If an artist does give you some sort of like advice, like I pulled directly from the picture and this is what the colors were, and say, well, you got it wrong, like, don't be an aggravator, don't be an agitator. Like, and don't be all high and mighty and be like, well, they were starting a fight. They're not starting a fight. Most artists really don't want to. They want to do your work. They want to get it done. They want to make sure that everything goes happy and everything goes hunky-dory, and that what you do, it's like what they do, is satisfactory. Number 6, payment. Alright, this one I'm kind of separating into two sections. First is something that happens quite a bit often. It's usually listed on any artist commission pages, how to pay for their work. A lot of them usually go for just PayPal. Some specifically state what currency. You know, only USD, CAD, rubles. I actually haven't worked with any Russian artists, so I don't know. Heck, some even across the countries will actually probably do USD, depending. It really depends. But make sure you know, and if they only do PayPal, then yeah, make sure that's obvious very often. You really don't want to be like halfway through the commission, it's like, oh, I don't have PayPal, lol. Just make sure you understand that, yeah, how you're going to pay for it, and if you can't do it, ask them. Ask them if there's any other way. Sometimes they won't, sometimes they will. Artists are usually really willing to work with you, especially if they're artists that do commissions. Like, that's the job, to work with you. It's a service. I'm pretty sure a lot of them enjoy it. The other part of this is understand that you are not just buying art. You're also buying their time and effort. God, I don't want to go too long into this one, but this is not like buying a print or a painting from Walmart. It's not like buying a poster from Walmart where you pay like your $20 or something and you go out the door. You're not buying a pre-made piece of art that they distribute at massive quantity. You're buying is something similar to like something a craftsman would make. Like, it's something that takes time and effort and energy. So they're not just pricing it based on, what they're at. Like, their prices are not just based upon, hey, this, that, and that, and this. In the artwork itself, it's also partially due to how much effort it takes out. Some people say a small chibi little thing will take like only $5. Why? Because odds are they can pump them out really easy, and they don't really feel confident that charging more is even fair. But going back to the craftsman idea, when you really look at it, it's like a craftsman will be like, make a table. He'll go in, he'll make you a very special like table with different carvings and all this like things made out of whatever wood, and just make it look beautiful, right? It's a one-of-a-kind table. You're buying that effort plus you're buying his time, his effort, and the product that he made. It's the exact same thing with a commissioned piece of art. And if anything, sometimes you have to accept that sometimes the prices will be kind of higher. Oh, this doesn't look like it's worth $100. Doesn't matter. Don't haggle that shit. Like, don't haggle. Like, odds are sometimes they will price it, and sometimes they'll price it because it's a hobby, but sometimes, if it's their sole source of income, it might be higher because they might have to charge it due to needing to be able to live, or they might have to raise it because they feel like it should be risen. There's a whole load of reasons. But also believe this, that they're making something that they'll make once and they will not resell again, because it's your piece of work, not something that they can just distribute. So if anything, they're spending time and energy that they could be using to something that they could distribute. Just food for thought. Also, another side note, when I said no haggling, don't do that, but also don't complain about, again, prices. Don't say that's too expensive. Something I would say is, if it's something that I can't buy, I would be like, that is out of my price range for now, that kind of thing. Don't be offensive. It's never good. And don't ask for discounts. If they're taking too long and stuff, again, just don't ask for like discounts. Don't ask for this, don't ask for that. People, like artists, are willing to work with you for like payments and stuff. Like, I've actually had one that allowed me to pay in segments instead of straight up all at once. And it really depends. Sometimes they will do theirs their way, but some are willing to work with you. Alright, number 7. Now, this one is kind of an odd one. I want to say, on one hand, if things are going in a little bit too long and you haven't had an update or anything, some artists really do like to update regularly. Some, unfortunately, don't, but it is what it is. Check in, but I do want to say this. It is not your true responsibility to remind them to work on things. People do forget, yes, but ultimately it is their job. So it's like, I actually have had someone's girlfriend tell me that person went out on a trip, came back and they forget, they took on a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so it's my responsibility to remind them to do that? It's not. But yes, I can't say that I wasn't at fault because I did not actually make any notes, because I forgot. I totally forgot. It was not something big, so it was one of those things that fell through the cracks. But that's all I'm saying is, check in if it's important to you, and again, be polite and kindly. That way you will get an answer. Again, just don't be a dick. That's really the big thing to take from this. But again, just remember, it's not your sole responsibility to be like, I have to remind you to do work. That's never anyone's responsibility at any job, except for the person doing the work. So, what do I have to say? Just too long didn't listen. TLDL. Know what you're doing, make sure you know about the artist, ask questions, describe everything in detail, provide as much as you can. Don't be a dick. Understand payment and understand that you're buying not just their art, but also their effort. And yeah, you're not responsible for them doing their job, but do check in if you actually really want it to not to fall by the wayside.